Then let's call the meeting to order, and let's have roll call.
Okay. Agnes Varnarski, Chairperson.
Present.
Dana Syvertson, Commissioner.
Here.
Ed Madden, Commissioner.
Present.
Louis Schatroop, Commissioner.
Here.
Seth Marcus, Commissioner.
Here.
Joe Moskell, Commissioner present. John is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. And let's have approval of the minutes of the board meeting of May 14th to 2026.
I make the motion that we approve the minutes as drafted so beautifully by Secretary Jill Moskow.
Thank you, Dana.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. And let's move on to old business, volunteer workdays.
Volunteer workdays have been absolutely crazy. We're so far ahead of the historical record of number of volunteer hours that have been logged. I'm about 2 months behind on data entry, but if you think about every transplant Wednesday, how many there's been, those are like 50 hours a night, and there's just been at least 4 a month, so it's
Yeah, I mean, we
it's
just had
crazy.
25 yesterday.
So I would say we're probably in the neighborhood of 3,000 hours already at this point, 3,500 maybe. So hopefully, while we're out of town, we'll get to be able to plug in some of that stuff. Otherwise, this Sunday is going to be at the Public Service Commons. We're going to be doing starting seed collection there. We're going to be doing trail maintenance, working on some invasives, and planting out the rest of the planting at the sign area, augmenting the planting underneath the flag poles as well. Anything to add to workdays?
No, that's it.
Volunteer attendance has just been crazy. It's great.
It's wonderful.
And a really funny sidebar, we had 2 new volunteers on Transplant Wednesday, and they came up and we said, "What's your names?" And they said, "Grace and Bridget,"
Which happened to be the names of our 2 summer interns
Yeah.
who just left.
who just left. I was like, I'll never forget I'll
Swear to
never
God.
forget your name, guys. It was cute.
So that was cool.
Yeah. Okay, projects, update status, ComEd Seeded Prairie. Oh, well, we already did our things, but do we want to just make a brief mention?
Well,
about
I
some of
want
these
to
things?
just note on the shoreline restoration project that the water has just been too high to get in there and do the work. You recall we rushed the purchase of the materials to June 1st, and then we had rain and the water was too high, then John was out of town. So that project is still delayed. We just got 4.5 inches of rain 2 days ago, and God only knows what we got today, but so
Can't be this weekend.
it won't be this weekend. that's
Maybe
for
the
sure.
next workday. If not, then the one after that, but.
And then just a sidebar to the final report on the Public Service Commons, that's in the works right now, so I should have that done by Monday or Tuesday of next week, and I'll run that by all of you before we send it off to ComEd.
Okay.
So
And then do we just want to mention maybe about the goldenrod assessment and the beetle? Because it's
there was a
interesting.
place where,
It's right here up at the top, projects
yeah,
for
go
ComEd
ahead.
Seeded Prairie.
Sure.
So I will be meeting with Jeff Weiss on Monday morning at 7 a.m. to do the quadrat sampling at the ComEd Prairie for the goldenrod study. That's a 5-year study, and I believe this is year 4 now? No, or 3.
4.
Year 4. So we'll be doing the quadrat sampling, but one of the very, very interesting things that happened this summer was that we came across this little beetle at the ComEd Prairie, which I had never seen before, hadn't seen it anywhere in Prospect Heights, didn't even know about it. And after researching it and finding it, so first what we found was this larva, and I didn't know what the larva was. I looked it up, I researched it, and it was on all the goldenrod that has been so difficult to control. And this whole area over here around us, everybody's like new restorations are getting overrun by the tall and Canada goldenrod. So apparently this beetle has arrived at the ComEd Prairie, and it feeds only on tall and Canada goldenrod, only. It's species specific to that plant, and it has just decimated areas of goldenrod at the Common Prairie that previously we were managing by cutting and clipping. I mean, this whole goldenrod study is to assess within this general area what are the best management techniques for controlling goldenrod, whether it be wood betony, dodder, cutting, overseeding, all of these things that people have been doing in their restorations to try to control this goldenrod. Meanwhile, this beetle arrives and just decimates areas of goldenrod at the prairie.
Are you counting those hours in for the volunteers?
Yeah, right, that's funny. So I'm really excited, and apparently this beetle only has one life cycle in a year, but I was talking to a researcher, and he said that because a little bit of climate change, that sometimes these insects recently have been pushing into 2 life cycles, and we know for sure that this beetle had 2 life cycles. And so we've actually collected the larva, collected the beetle, transported it to other areas for this goldenrod control, and I've seen in areas where there was just almost 100% goldenrod, the prairie has went away, it's been completely overtaken. Now the goldenrod is skeletonized, away, gone, and all these prairie plants are coming up. It's actually unbelievable at the ComEd Prairie. There's areas that are just beautiful, and the goldenrod is gone. Or at least stunted completely.
Yeah, Bill
I'm
Kleiman
excited.
asked us to put a paper together on that, and
So-
he'll post it on the...
Grassland Restoration,
Grassland.
yeah, Grassland Restoration Network said to do a blog on it, so we're gonna,
I think how you found this was of interest too, because you said that part of the prairie was different.
right.
There was-
So we were walking with the interns, and suddenly I looked, and I said, why does that look so good, and why is there so much penstemon just in this one section? It's just nowhere else but here. And I walk up, and it's beautiful, there's penstemon and other plants, and I look down, and I see this goldenrod is like 5 inches tall, when normally everywhere else it's like 2 feet tall, robust. And here it's 5 inches tall, it's skeletonized, and I see this larva all over it. And that's how we figured it out. Very interesting. Makes sense, all these like relationships between insects and plants.
So glad we have a scientist on staff.
Yeah, but it just makes sense that de novo restorations wouldn't have the beetle, because where would it come from? By the time the beetle arrives, it took 12 years for the beetle to find the goldenrod in that area, but it makes sense that new restorations wouldn't have all the associated insects that you would find. And that is also why in remnant prairies, there is no problem with tall goldenrod. There wouldn't be a problem with tall goldenrod because the insects are there in remnant prairies. They've always been there.
It's pretty interesting.
It is.
Is there a way to help them along?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've helped them along.
Okay.
Yeah, jars, cheesecloth. Yes.
You've also relocated beetles to the slough.
To the slough and
to
Tully Park. Wendy went out there with me for an hour. We collected beetles, so it'll take a few years for them to multiply and take care of the goldenrod. I'm really, really excited. And it's a native insect, obviously, and it belongs here and everything. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention that because I think it's really interesting and great. Any
Okay.
other comments
Thank
about
you.
anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted, I don't know if people had a chance to read my report from the Remnant Prairie. and
I did.
Yeah, I wanted
We
to
did.
actually talk about that. I
Yeah.
thought it was a good idea what you were proposing.
Hey, go ahead, well, go ahead, you want to comment? Did you want to say?
Yeah, it's in bad shape. It really is. And I think that we should ask ComEd to put back into mowing,
Mhm.
because I don't think it's manageable by us. But I think it's a good idea to take a section that we know is the nicest part and try to at least protect that and save it as much as we can. And that would be the area that you're saying, but also a little bit in the back by the railroad tracks.
Mhm, right, right.
That area, that whole just
There's
like
still a ton
west
of
side.
buckthorn back there that has to,
Yeah,
The-
Yeah.
It would be good to have that beetle there.
yeah. Yes, it
Thank you.
would, Seth.
Yeah,
Let's set that up, if you can remember it in the,
yeah.
I mean, that beetle's gonna be everywhere next year, I gotta tell you. But it's the timing, you have to time it because you have to just keep visiting, because I don't know exactly when, they mate, they lay the eggs hatch, then you have the larva, they're only out for a couple of weeks, they eat the plant, then they become adult beetles, they mate, and the process, happens again. So you have to sort of catch it. Sometimes you'll go out there and there's no evidence of a beetle, because that's part of that life cycle where the eggs have been laid, the adults have died, and there's no larvae yet. So we have to just keep an eye out. That's a great idea, too.
So reaching out, I mean, ComEd always says no to when our burn requests.
Right, yeah, I've had 3 attempts at a conversation over the course of this last year. 2 of the responses just were never responded to.
But what I'm saying is to put it back into vegetative
Yeah,
management.
I asked for that on the 3rd one, and
Oh.
she said, I'll call you later, and never
Okay, well, we got to
called,
keep up
so.
with that. Because what I'm suggesting it for it to go back to the management it was before we started managing it, which means them mowing it once in a while, whenever that is. Otherwise, we'll never win the fight with the woodies.
What is back by the railroad tracks?
Just a lot of,
More of the remnant.
yeah,
At the railroad tracks, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
As you go east
Mm,
from the bike path.
yeah. That northeast corner and, yeah. So I think we should do that, definitely.
I will follow up with them again tomorrow.
And then schedule work days, maybe in the springtime over there. Okay, any other comments about any of those sites or anything else? No?
Oh, yeah, I had one, the restoration work that was done on Owen Court, where they put in the seawall and raised the road, it's coming up all native plants now. They must have seeded it in,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
just bursting with native plants now, whereas before all we saw was weeds. And of course, succession, those weed seeds are in the dirt, and so they got to come first. And then all of a sudden, it's all natives. So
Yeah.
go over there and look. It's pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah,
Filled with flowers. It's
yeah,
pretty.
it is.
Is that near the shore then?
Yeah,
It's right on the shoreline, yeah. Yeah, it's that road that they raised 3 feet.
Owen, yep. Okay, then let's move on to Prospect Heights Public Library Park District events, Nature Speaks program.
Okay, we have lined up on 11/11, Wally Levener and Aaron Hasse from Fermilab, and they're going to be talking about the history of prairies in Illinois
Oh.
and the 50 years of prairie restoration at Fermilab.
Wow.
They're doing this carte blanche. They don't want an honorarium for that, so that's great for our program. But they're both really good speakers. Aaron is also a steward at the James Woodworth Prairie on Milwaukee Avenue. So,
Yeah.
there might be some future tie-in there, I'm sure.
I got the materials that you sent for the press release too.
Yep. The art gallery exhibition, there's 2 in a row. So the first one is September 1st, the second one is October 1st. The concept was for the commissioners that are artists and the Sunflower Group to get together and show 2 pieces based on nature in Prospect Heights. And then the second show is going to be a plein air show where we actually all meet together and go outside and paint. So that'll be interesting to see if it really happens. But one way or another, we have to have a show, so. And then bird walks, we still have not found anyone interested in leading that, so I'm not sure what to do. That keeps popping up, I
Can't you
don't
just
know
say
why.
use folder?
I did that and it didn't work.
Okay.
Oh, now it does, okay.
Okay. Who's, okay.
So that's basically it. Anybody got any questions about any of that?
So are we looking for someone to lead the bird walks?
We're still looking, but so far, nobody.
Any ideas about how to find someone to lead the bird walks?
Well, I've reached out to our seed guys in Arlington Heights. I've asked Cindy Lebecki again if she knows anybody. And just,
What about asking like Wild Birds Unlimited, if they know anybody?
yeah, that's who I talked to, Birds
Oh.
Unlimited.
Okay. Okay, and What about reaching out to like the Bird Conservation Network?
I again talked to Mary,
Mary Lou?
yeah, to Mary Lou, and she's coming up snake eyes too. So
Okay.
everybody's old.
What about reaching out to some of the local conservation groups?
Yeah, anything you want to do to help is be greatly appreciated.
Okay. What about someone like, I can reach out to Poplar Creek. I know that Jenny goes on these bird expeditions. She's really into birding.
Mm-hmm.
She's really good, really great birder.
That'd be great.
What about her?
Yeah, if she'll do it.
That's worth an ask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And let's move on to seed greenhouse program update.
Go ahead.
Transplant Wednesdays are very heavily attended. We still have a lot of transplanting to do. Unfortunately, we have to move to seed collection Wednesdays really soon, like really soon, within the next couple of weeks. So I think maybe just 1 or 2 more sessions, maybe even just 1 session. And we just have a lot of plants as usual. A lot have been planted out everywhere. We'll have a lot of plants for next year. We still have second and third year plants, but we're working on getting those out, in part to Tully Park, the ones that really just need to go in the ground. And I don't know if we're going to be having a plant sale next year, but if we are going to have one, there will be plenty of plants for it. Okay,
Okay.
Yep.
that's that. Educational updates, MacArthur Middle School. I think school starts this week, so we haven't really heard anything.
Right, they're in transition, and Stephanie Ritter is now a volunteer. By the way, this is Bridget and Grace on the screen.
With your finger. But, yes.
So she
She retired.
She retired from MacArthur, but she also announced last night that she took a sub package for 7th graders there. So she's going to not be leaving the MacArthur 100%. She said that the new science teacher that's going to replace her is very excited and interested in continuing the program with us, and that as soon as school gets underway, she'll reach out to us and
We'll have,
contact us about doing the program.
yeah. The seed collection at the Prairie.
Wheeling High School, there's nothing going on. I don't even know if Medea Habad is still,
It'll be her last year. This
so
year.
last year?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
This year.
So we've heard nothing from them. East Leiden, I just was in conversation with Megan. She's looking at her schedule and seeing when and how many times they want to come out and help again. So they're on board.
Well, we'd
What-
have to come up with larger things to do for the
Projects,
projects,
yeah.
because there's a lot of them. Maybe we should reach out to, I know that Christina had mentioned something about School Street Park,
Yep.
or either that or by the library, that creek area, right?
Yeah, there's also Hillside Avenue, so there's plenty of work to do.
Yeah, that's right. Plenty of work. Just has to be enough work in one area for 80 people.
Yeah.
Okay, District 214 Internships Career Initiative is over. It was really nice. Great interns. I definitely want to do it again. I really enjoy having high school students that are interested in nature and are looking to explore whether they want to choose it as a career. I received a really nice email from one of the interns who thanked me profusely and said that he had decided that that's what he wants to do with his life. So that's really cute, really sweet when that happens. Yeah. Yeah, nature camp, we just did that.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting this year. There were 120 kids. They're supposed to be divided into 5 equal groups. We got a group that we started off with had 20 boys in it. So it ranged from that to a group of 3-year-olds,
3 to 6-year-olds.
3 to 6-year-old
Or
girls.
5-year-olds.
It couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
But huge thanks to everybody who came out and participated in that. It was really well staffed, and everybody did their best, so Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Seth for arranging Skins and Skulls.
Always a big hit.
It was.
And so what were the stations? Was there an art station?
There was an
Yes.
art station, there was the Science in the Creek station. There
So that was macroinvertebrates they would take and then look at in the microscope. They actually
Right.
found a couple of other things like crustaceans and frogs.
Right. There was the Toxic Train Wreck, which is a fun game that Wendy takes care of. There was Agnes's tour,
Nature walk
Nature Walk,
with hand lenses.
and the art station with Kate and Mara and Andy. And Greg
Skins and-
and Nellie filled in and took over Skins and Skulls, and they also added some bees to it.
Right, so he
So
brought his
that
bee
was a-
equipment and his bee suit.
So it was a big hit,
Yeah.
And you didn't get rained out.
and we didn't
And
get
it
rained
did
out.
it. It went
It
just
was
south
really
of us.
crazy. At 10:30, there was this enormous shelf cloud that rolled in,
Just
and
was-
it was
it went dark.
pitch black.
And we didn't know, all the kids took their backpacks with them. We didn't know at any minute it could have been like called off, but it just went south, south of us, so,
This is a
Great.
toad that was found at
in the creek.
in the creek.
So, yeah, kids got to see it up close. There's a lot of things we found on our nature walk, too. Okay, moving on then. Old business continues, City of Prospect Heights Community Days.
Big thanks to Jill, who gutted it out with me for Community Day. We had a new location because of the construction of the fire department, so that was at Public Works. It actually worked out pretty well. It's a long day, but we got through it. The Prospect Heights block party was really different this year. It was pretty well attended. The
Really?
weather was nice. We
great.
we gave away 100 six-packs of plants, and we gained 95 new participants in the email program.
Yeah, it was
So it's pretty good all the way around.
one of my favorite events.
Yeah, I think because I was talking to Christina at the Park District Board meeting, I think why we didn't get the traffic like we're normally used to, because of where the parking was, because of the huge event and the different additional stages and so forth. So they were like coming behind us and around
Oh.
to the north instead of coming from the south.
Oh, I see. We still got a lot of people,
Yeah.
and I really liked the new setup. I thought it was very, very nice, the way that they set it up this year.
Independence Day Parade, again, Arlington Heights and Prospect Heights were on the same day, so we absolutely chose to do Prospect Heights. Kate and Mara successfully put together a smattering of all the things that we've done so far and re-energized them and freshened them up, and it was pretty successful. Everybody had a really good time, and a lot more attendance this year than last year. So it was all good.
Any comments? No? Okay, then let's move on to our budget.
Okay, this is the first time that we have had budgets from two different organizations. So the first one you see there is the city budget. Now, the city will retain control of the interns and the shoreline restoration and any kind of grant funding that we have. Everything else, they write us a check and it goes over to the Friends of, and then we purchase directly out of the Friends of organization, and that's the second page you see. This is the accounting for this year and last year, and where we are today. Now, also at Menards and Home Depot, we now have accounts that are tax deferred, or
Tax.
we don't pay tax on, and they're both under the Friends of the PHNRC. So that makes it a lot easier. And then we have the ability to, we have a charge card that we can use to do things like the soil purchase at Carlin's, or greenhouse mega stores, or any of these other things. So This is basically where we're at. We have left in our operational budget for this year $6,616.99. We have, let's see, in the intern expenses, it's showing some surplus there, but all the hours aren't in, is what
Right.
Lloyd said.
Yeah.
So that'll zero out when it's all squared away. The shoreline restoration, we're over budget by $2,300. We knew that, they knew that, everybody knew that, but the thought was just go ahead and get the materials, and we'll take it off of next year and then see where we are about refunding it or what we're going to do. The thing that still needs to be ordered there is all the fill dirt. But until we have any progress there on being able to get in and do the infrastructure, fill dirt is just not in the equation right now.
Right.
And that's something we just order and it'll be there the next day.
And then the first.
And then the first responders grant, we still have 54,44,46 left. Most of that is going to go away with the sign when the signs are actually produced and the balance is forwarded. It will be a little bit of a surplus, but I'm sure that we'll find a way to use it up. So that will be also at zero when we're actually done by the end of this year. I mean, end of August. Any questions about the budgets?
Where do you find the 5444 for the first responders? I'm not.
On the
here.
first page from the city account.
Oh, down there. That's it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I have a couple of big picture questions about funding and budgets. Can you just say again, I'm not sure I understand. So there's a budget that, that the city has that goes to the commissioners to spend for things like the interns, et cetera. And then there's a different budget that the Friends of has to spend on other things. Is that right?
Yeah, so,
So here's what happens, Seth. The city, we get funding from the Park District and from the city, and that comes together as a lump sum. Because of the processing of all the paperwork and the withholding and all the rest of that, they keep control of the interns. So that's a big favor for us,
Yeah.
because it'd be a nightmare if
Oh
we
my
had to
gosh.
manage that.
right.
So that actually works to our benefit.
But the operational budget, like that we normally get for supplies, gloves, everything, we keep ordering like every couple of weeks. We need
Right.
gloves. We're gonna need gloves now. We're gonna need more gloves. We might need a few pairs of loppers. We might need gas, string trim equipment. And so it's kind of a pain for us to reach out to the city each time and give them a list, and they have to go online and order it. So they're basically gonna give us that money, and it's gonna go to the Friends of. And so Katie takes that money and keeps it separate from the Friends of PHNRC, so that we know that that's our operational budget that we got from the city. But we are now spending money from that as the Friends of.
Right, so
And you see that there's a second budget, though, that Friends of has also some
Yeah.
other money
Exactly,
that comes from contributions.
yes.
Right.
That's
yeah,
separate.
that has nothing to do with this.
Right.
Okay,
Nothing.
so here's where, I haven't gotten my real question yet. My real question is decision-making about money.
Mhm.
And I'm a little uncertain how that works. So when we propose to the city, first of all, we say, we want X amount of dollars to spend on such and such. We're saying what we want to spend on, and they're
Right.
saying, yes, we approve or don't
Yes.
approve it. When we give some of our money to Friends of, it's us sitting at this area here that are saying, Friends of, we're going to come to you every once in a while and say, we want for the following things. And we say, we want it for dirt, and we want it for supplies.
Right.
And right?
Yeah,
The third thing, the third fund, when Friends of gets money, who makes the decisions?
Friends of.
And why is that? And here's what I'm curious about. When Friends of gets donations of lots of money, let's say it could be lots of money,
Right.
just a couple of things. One is the history of it. The history is that the reason they exist is they're supposed to be raising money for us, right?
Right?
That's the purpose of their existence. And also, I know people who sit on philanthropic boards, and they get to decide what organizations gets the philanthropy's money. But those organizations say, we want money for such and such. Will you fund us? But the ones who are deciding what's the specifics that they spend the money on is the ones that get the money. The philanthropy is just giving the money, but it's decided by the recipients. So when the Friends of gets money, it's for us and we receive it, but we're saying we want to spend the money on whatever. So I guess what I'm wondering about is going forward, because I think it's gonna be important, I think, going forward. And I think that, because perhaps we might be dealing with substantial sums of money. And I'm wondering, are we making the decision? And they're an organization that are our friend, they're the friends of, we're the organization, they're the friends of the organization. So aren't they just a fundraising arm, and we're the ones who are making the decision, or are they making the decision? I think it's important, because
Yeah.
there is some overlap of the people sitting here who are on both, but there's some that's not overlap.
That's a good question. Okay, so the way to think of this is our operational budget for the PHNRC, which has nothing to do whatsoever with the Friends of. This is the money from the city and the Park District, sans the,
Yeah, I'm not talking about that money, though. I'm not
Right.
talking about that money. I'm talking about
So-
if we get a big, if we get.
He's talking about the money that Friends of gets.
stop.
Yeah.
If
He'll
the Friends
get
gets-
there.
if the I'm talking about the donation money, not the.
Correct.
Right, he'll
not
get
the
there.
budget, that
Right.
second group of money. that you
Right.
mentioned. I'm talking about the third group of money, which is donations. And I thought that the idea was that they're coming up with ideas of how to do fundraisers, plant sales, solicit donations, all these things. And then they kindly, as our friends, give us the money and we decide what's to do with that money. Let's just say, for example, in the future, we decide we want to buy property and other people think we want to hire a part-time employee. And those are two different things that both are kind of expensive. Well, who makes that big decision about how we're spending that big chunk of money? And is it the people sitting here, or is it the Friends of who are I thought they were just fundraisers for us.
I think it starts with this board right here, because we are the organization, right? And we're the ones who are
I've heard other things.
doing all the work.
Yeah, I think we
and-
have to decide that.
For instance, the state grant that we just got for $250,000, okay, I just had a conversation with Joanne, who's Senator Morrison's assistant, and it will be at least 3/4 of a year before we are able to get funds out of there. It's going to be till maybe as late as March of next year before we're actually assigned a grant coordinator from the state to work with us, who begins to tell us how all this works. In my mind, I think it's very clear, the organization, meaning us, has to decide what is it we want to do? What kind of equipment do we need? How many interns do we need? And we need to put together a proposal, which we then submit to the Friends of Board, and they need to decide it. I mean, that's always been,
Right.
in my mind, that's the only way it can possibly work.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with that, but I thought, oh, I'm sorry. I agree with that totally, but I guess I heard that there was some question of they were going to decide what gets done with the money.
Well, they have to form, because the Friends of is the organization that will receive, for instance, that check, and they have to spend that money, right? Like, as the not-for-profit. So they will have to, at the board meeting, at least approve those.
Approve our
Right,
wishes.
right, right,
Approve
yeah.
our wishes or good.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But we're the ones that get to say the wishes.
But they also need to be able to fund their projects. Let's say that they decide that they want to start a summer camp program, like McHenry County or any of these other places, or they want to do some other kind of fundraising.
Or have another plant sale.
Do another plant sale, then they need to be able to access those funds to do their bidding. So it's a balance, and I think it's just going to be a real, it's a discussion every single time, an agreement.
Yeah.
In order for, yeah, you can do this, and yeah, you can't. I mean, we should be able to have as much say about the programs that they want to institute, if they so want to do that, to make more money, then we should be able to oversee that. I mean, if they're going to go do something really silly, we don't want to be a part of it, then, that's an issue. And so all those things, you can come up with all kinds of scenarios, but I think it's just a matter of conversation and talking through. Everybody I know on both boards is completely reasonable
Okay.
and very astute at speaking, so I'm not worried about it in the least.
Okay, great.
But
But
what
we should
does it-
start to discuss those things, though.
Oh,
at
yes,
this
absolutely.
meeting. For instance, and especially when we're talking about budget, for instance, I think we should have a third intern that's funded by the Friends of.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, is that the friend, yeah, so we have to decide
Next year.
which proposal are we gonna make, who's making the proposal, and how do we come to that proposal, and
Well,
and
we're
do they
gonna-
get to veto, and do they get to veto?
I think we're going to have to, at some point, we're going to have to do more than, we're going to have to schedule possibly like a retreat meeting where we spend more time thinking about and coming up with a plan of what we want to do and how we want to do it, so that we can actually, I mean, that's going to take more than once every 3 months meeting. So I think,
Just to give you an idea, I've heard 3 proposals for this large chunk of money that they all sound great to me, but they're not necessarily mutually compatible. One is to have a third intern for a number of years. One is to have a part-time employee for a number of years, and one is to spend it on property. They're all great. I love it. Let's get all 3, but we can't get all 3. So that's going to be like, who's going to vote? And I'm not saying we should have an answer today, but it's something we should think about, who's going to vote.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But it starts with us defining what it is we want and what we'd like to see, and then applying it. I mean, that board needs, we're actively looking for a new president. Marcia's she's got to move on really bad, so
Health issues.
we're actively looking. If anybody knows anybody who wants to be, is interested in the position, have them contact me, for sure. But I don't see any problem or any conflicts of interest here at all. I mean, it's,
Great.
Yeah, but we absolutely
You-
have to be
you got it?
involved in
Yeah, you
those
think?
decisions. Yeah,
does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
okay. Adopt a trail program update.
Spencer has been working with everybody. We've had a couple of issues with the trail width. We've had several conversations about it. I think it's all under control at this point. There's an understanding, and we just have to see what happens. So everybody's working hard.
What is the understanding for the width?
42 inches. It's like being able to get a mower through there.
Okay.
That's it. Right now, there's areas where they're almost 10 feet wide, and that was,
Yeah, where is that at?
what's that?
Bear Pond?
It's over by Seth's trail.
Oh,
And Heron Pond is wide as well. What's that?
how did it get 10 feet?
Excited volunteers who, really didn't have proper guidance and, but, it's okay, because I don't want to throw cold water on anybody's efforts. Anybody who can possibly help out, hooray. But, there's got to be oversight and there's got to be training and,
And a standard,
a lot of it's
maybe.
on us, we didn't, there's not a plan in place, so, over the winter, that's what I want to do, is format a manual, and we'd be able to hand it to new volunteers. So Spencer's on board with that, and we're just going to work with me, and we'll develop that, so. Okay?
Okay. City civic meetings and representation.
Just 2 things to note. The Elmhurst Road Culvert Project was in place to address flooding issues experienced on Elmhurst Road. A water drainage pipe has been replaced to keep stormwater drainage and prevent flooding. Tully Park and 214 South Wheeling Road, construction of the Shoe Horse driveway is complete. And the work has concluded. The PHNRC has been installing native plants in the open space to further establish a healthy, mature native landscape. The park monument sign, along with the new entrance and exit signage, has been successfully installed. That's all I have to report.
Friends of the PHNRC.
I pretty much gave you an update on that already, so there's nothing more to add, really.
Okay. Summer,
Unless there's questions about it. Okay,
summer interns.
they're gone.
Gone, that's it. Okay, well, it was a really, really busy summer. I feel like the more areas we have to manage, the more management it requires. And especially if we're even thinking about like going back to the remnant prairie and the remnant sedge meadow, you know, we have a lot of areas. I don't know if we added up all the acres. I think we recently did, but it's a lot under management and it's a lot in residential areas, and we keep sort of adding to it, and that requires more management. We have a large volunteer base and it's wonderful. It's just that those volunteers cannot do the things that really need to happen, which is the application of herbicide, which is very, very important in management. And so I think in the future, we will really have to think about having a third intern. But which also brings up like things like, how will that work? How do 3 of them work? You know, it's sort of like almost like you can't really divide them up because you divide up 1 and 2. You know, what about the transportation? How are they going to take the van? You know, how are they going to fit the equipment with 3 of them instead of 2? We've never done that. There's all sorts of things to think about like that. But it would be great to be able to split up and say, hey, you can go here and you can go here, and then 2 different things happen at the same time. But with 3, it's difficult to do that. So,
So we need 4.
I mean, that would be like the
Another
dream.
vehicle,
Another
14.
a Kubota for once.
A Kubota and 2 interns. That's the wish list. Okay. All right. But anyway, it was really great, and they got a lot of work done, and summer's also always a busy time. Okay, new initiatives, Prairie Week.
Okay, in the past, for the last 2 years, we haven't done anything because we're so busy. Illinois Prairie Week is September 14th to the 20th. We have a work day scheduled on the September 13th and September 27th. And what we've done in the past is drag that in and make it like an Illinois Prairie Week function. We also tried to align speakers to speak during that time. We gave tours of the ComEd Prairie. It fell by the wayside because everybody's so busy. So
We also have seed collection during
Yeah.
that time that we,
we also did seed collection at the Prairie. Yeah, so we can do minor events like that. Does anybody really have any strong opinions one way or another about doing anything for the Prairie Week?
Honestly, I think we should just tie it in to the work that's being done that week anyways. You know, like the work days, just, you know, declare them Prairie Week work days.
Okay,
You know, because otherwise there's, you know, you're biting off too much to handle, and it's not the best time in terms of other things going on. So just brand it as that. Because quite frankly, it's Illinois Prairie Year with the commission.
yeah.
true that.
Okay, we can do that. That'll encompass one of those 2 work days.
And seed collection.
A seed collection. And that'll be easy.
And just let us know where you need us, you know. If
Yeah.
Plus, the branding of it for that might just bring out more people that would have otherwise come out too. And again, in the theory and concept of it, that's what you want people to do, is get involved ultimately, so.
Okay.
The pop-up art walk is scheduled for September 26th from 10 to 4. There is some discussion going on about where is it going to be. The choices are Isaac Walton, the way it's always been, or Christina has offered up the nature preserve all along the creek and the dirt road.
Oh, nice.
So the bonus there is that
Parking.
they're parking. And you take that safety issue out of Elmhurst Road, turning into Isaac
Yeah.
Walton. So it makes some sense. Kate and Mara said that they were going to decide where they wanted to do it and let us know before this meeting, but they are busy too, so. I don't know, but I think that the tendency is towards going to the creek.
Okay.
And we talked about this yesterday when we were at the nature camp, or whenever that was. And you could actually see it there.
Yeah.
There's a nice feel to that bit of nature that goes on there, so I think that's probably where it's going to end up. But the time is set and the date is set. Okay? And the last event is the St. James Deer Grove on September 27th, from 2 to 3:30. Jill and Kathy did this last year,
Yeah.
and they've asked us to redo it this year. Kathy is already committed to doing this. Jill, I think
I'm undecided,
you're,
because it all depends on what's happening at church, if I'm going to be scheduled
okay.
for both
All right.
masses again.
if anybody else, I mean, basically this is, you sit at a table and you talk about PHNRC. And if we have anything to give away, like posters and stuff, then you do that.
Don't they have like a nice walk after? or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, they have a walk, they have food, they have a bonfire, so if you want to stay for all that, you can, but everybody's so busy, it was usually just 2 to 3:30 and get out of there.
And what about the Park District event in October with the senior citizens? You sent us all that
Yeah,
information.
we're not going to do that,
You're
no
not
one
gonna
is
do it?
interested.
No one's interested? Okay.
So if anybody is interested in sitting at that table, I would do it, except it's our anniversary.
That's right.
So I'm not going to do it.
Or we could and just stay for the bonfire.
Great. You're going to take the raccoon with us.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that's it for new initiatives. If anybody's interested in participating in that event, let me know.
Okay.
Okay, any announcements?
Seth, got any announcements?
Nope.
No, okay, we have no visitors.
No visitors?
All right, let's adjourn the
I
meeting.
motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.